Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. Tonight's a very special night. We've held off for a little bit of doing this. I wanted to do it this past weekend, but I figured why not do it live? That way I don't have to edit it because I'm lazy and just don't feel like doing it. But tonight I brought on James Graham with me over there. Nick from the Lost River Drive-Ins back again. And we wanted to dive into our Halloween franchise rankings tonight live. I know Nick already did his on his channel. I watched his video, so I kind of already know where his stuff lies, but it's a lot funner to do it live and have a nice discussion and see, how fast we can piss off the Halloween fans out there, and let us know that we're not Halloween fans, but that's okay. We're here for it because look at Nick. He got all them. Look at that. He got a Halloween 5 poster behind him. Do you think he gives a shit what any of you people think? I don't think so.
I do not.
He does not. Halloween 5 I'm coming around to it for sure. I'm excited to see where I put it. I think I know, but we're going to give it a shot. But Nick, how are you doing, buddy? How was your crazy weekend down at Scarefest?
Scarefest was good. Scarefest was a really good time. Not the best past few days since I got back. So if I'm a little more reserved this evening, I apologize. But Scarefest was really good. It was really nice to meet everyone. I had a really, really fun time, and it looks like it's going to be something that we do every year. So, and it's not far from me, so I don't really have an excuse. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, good. Happy to hear about that. Sorry to hear about the beginning of your week. Hope it gets better for you. James, obviously you had your premiere. My special boy, from what I saw on social media, it looked like it was a damn good time. So was it everything you hoped it would be?
It was everything I was hoping it would be and more. It was funny because we had this showing was supposed to start at 7, and me and my cinematographer were like, "Oh, let's just go to the bar, quick, grab a drink, we'll come back, and we'll be back on time." So we get back, and we turn the corner, and we're like, "Dude, there's a shit ton of people on the outside, there's a shit ton of people on the inside." And I look at him, and I'm like, "Dude, are these people here for us? I don't know any of these people." And dude, they were, and we all got the movie prepped and everything, and I was so nervous that I actually sat down in the entrance watching it from by myself, sitting on the floor like this, and then hearing everyone, and everyone was like, there's like I said, I don't know if you saw my post, but I was like, there's a lot of oohs, there's a lot of ahs, laughs. Like there was a character who died, and everyone's like, "Oh, dude, for real." It was cool. Actually, I will tell you right now that the experience in there, from the interaction from the crowd, was better than the experience I had watching Halloween Ends. Yeah. Not even talking shit.
I know you love that movie, so I know. Oh, I'm happy. I'm glad it went good for you, buddy. Can't wait for everybody to see it.
Do we have after party? Just got.
Smashed. Fucked up. Nice. I'm proud of you for getting drunk. That's nice. Good job.
Thank you for being proud of a grown man for getting smashed.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you. But yeah, can't wait for everybody to see that on Friday. Hopefully they enjoy it as much as I did. And hopefully it great success brings success to you, buddy. Nothing but the best for sure.
Appreciate you.
No problem. All right. So what do we got? Lucky 13 films in the Halloween franchise. Surprisingly.
Question real quick. Yes. Nick, are you into fan films?
It's never a world I really explored. Honestly, when I was a teenager, I tried to make a Halloween one that never got finished. So, but yeah, it's never really a world I've explored. I'm kind of ambivalent, I don't have an opinion.
Cool. I didn't know if you've seen Halloween Inferno or any of those.
No, but I've heard about all of them. I haven't even seen Never Hike Alone. So it's just, it's never been an area that I did watch that one. There was one that came out.
Happy Halloween, I bet.
No, it was a Friday the 13th one. It was like a year or so ago. That had one of the original actresses in it or something.
Oh, Roseblood.
I can't remember what it was called.
Jason Rising.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Oh, Alice, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm open to it. I don't have a negative opinion on them. It's never been something I really looked into, I guess.
No, I respect it.
Let's see. Before we get into this, let me say quick hellos. We got Lamantra, we got Bubba Ho, we got John Sipe, Nathan Mills, we have Art Wishwood, Robert the Wolfman, Antonis, what's up? Crandon, Doomsday's Crypt, what's up, John? Mentalect, Gory Tiger, what is up, everybody? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. There's 13 films in this beautiful thing we call our favorite franchise ever. Surprisingly, more than Friday the 13th, which is very surprising because, I mean, they were kicking them out left and right back in the day, and then they kind of just died. So hopefully if one comes out next year, like people say, then they'll be tied up. But I don't believe nothing until we see it because they've been saying that for years. So, so 13 films. I kind of, the same ones usually end up at the bottom of the barrel in most people's rankings anyway, consistently. So shouldn't be any shocks at the beginning. I put a poll in the chat for anybody who's here right now. Wanted to know what you guys think will be what? Yes. Wanted to know what you guys think is the worst in the franchise. I put Halloween 5 down there. I know, Nick, people do think that, though. I don't, but Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, Halloween Resurrection, or other if I did not pick the one you thought of. So let's get this bad boy rolling here. At number 13, James, I'll let you start us off.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Number 13. The question to keep this, we're going through 13 movies from three different perspectives. Like, should we limit on how our deep dives are into each reasoning, or?
I was gonna say I don't really have too much deep diving to do for the freaking first half of them, to be honest. But I mean, it's up to you how long you want to talk.
Gotcha. No, yeah, okay. No, I'll keep it, fairly limited so that we don't run past too long, however long that may be. But I'm going to go with Halloween Resurrection. I think that's pretty much the obvious choice here. I wouldn't doubt if all three of us have the exact same choice, as I find that through our past streams, we've all had very negative things to say about this movie, and you don't see a single Halloween Resurrection item in any of our backdrops.
What? No, that's the only mask that I don't own.
Yeah, there's a reason for this, I assume. Halloween Resurrection.
I don't know why I don't own the mask. I wanted it for some reason, but I just never bought it. It wasn't that important to me, I guess. Nick, what do you got at number 13?
So number 13 is going to be Halloween Ends. No, I'm just kidding. It's Halloween Resurrection. And I don't even have anything to say. I mean, I've said enough about Halloween Resurrection over the years. Just saying those two words in succession are enough for me. So,
oh man, I'm gonna keep this ball rolling. Resurrection's last for me as well. Number 13. Saw it as a kid. Saw it in the theater. I liked it back then, but I was a kid and I didn't know exactly what I was watching. And it destroys everything H2O did great. And the main actress they try to give us, Sarah, to be the final girl, is bloody awful. And I'm not a huge fan of Brad Laurie's performance as Myers either. He's probably one of the worst in my opinion. So number 13, Resurrection.
Damn, talk about shitting all over the movie.
Sorry. I know people do like Brad, but I'm not one of them.
No, neither am I. I don't like the pull down,
it's weird.
It looks strange and weird. Yeah. Anyway. For my number 12, I'm going to go into Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Okay.
I'm sorry, dude. The movie came out in 2009. I watch it every year. I don't hate it like Resurrection, and I don't even hate Resurrection. I just don't. I don't get it. I don't hate it. Hate's too strong of a word for me to think like that for anything really. But Resurrection, but Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Maybe it's misunderstood from me. Maybe I misunderstand the movie. If anyone wants to say Halloween Ends is so on Halloween, I mean, how is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 not? And like, this is why I wanted to do a watch along with Nick over here, so he can kind of give me a brief, not even a brief explanation, like a great explanation as to why, what he sees in it. Because I want to be able to like this movie more, and I have come around a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, like I don't think it's the worst. I don't have any connection to it. And while I do think that I think it has the most like emotional death, I guess you would say, with Annie and Brackett finding her. I think that's like the most like the best death, one of the best deaths in the franchise because of the emotional toll that it has on you when you watch it, and it feels so real. But outside of that, I just have a hard time getting into it.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Nick, you're number 12.
Well, I mean, not far off. Rob Zombie's Halloween. And this was a movie that I loved when I saw it opening night in the theaters. And, when I was a teenager, I really, really did love the movie. And as the years have gone on, it's just kind of waned for me. Just like Resurrection. And I mean, it's far better than Resurrection. I would say Resurrection is like, there's a gap between the next one. I mean, it's not like splitting hairs here.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. The first half has always been, except for when I was younger, it's always been hard to get into. I appreciate the ingenuity of trying something new. I'll always appreciate that, but I don't know. I was never, after my first few viewings, I've just never really cared for the first half of the movie. Now I really enjoy the second half. I think it's really fun. It's basically just John Carpenter's Halloween on steroids, and like I'm all for that. But yeah, it's a decent movie. I don't hate any of the movies in this series either. Although I find Resurrection to be the bottom of the barrel, I don't hate it.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, that's the thing. Resurrection is bad, but I mean, I watch it every year just because. What? I see that.
It's like Nick just touched up on. Like, I agree with the RZH2 and then the Resurrection. Like, there's a big gap between.
Oh yeah.
How terrible Resurrection is until the next selection. Like, yeah. So.
Yep. My number 12 is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Like James already said, I don't know if I'm missing something. I don't know what it is. I just never got into it. I think the fact that I was expecting something else, and when I went to see it, I got that. I guess the same way people view what they went to ends to see and then what they got. I guess it's kind of like the same thing, but I just didn't really like what I was seeing, except for that opening like 15 minutes, the hospital stuff. That was fantastic. And I mean, it's shot beautifully and everything, and the soundtrack's great. I don't like the Myers mask, the way that it looks. I don't like it ripped off. I don't like that he puts it on whenever he's going to kill somebody. And then the other times he doesn't have it on. It's less white trash than the first one. So I will give it props for that, for sure. But it's just, if I want a Halloween movie, it's definitely not one that I'm going to go out and seek to watch. So Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, number 12 for me.
Okay.
Number 11.
I'm surprised we both didn't mention the fact that Michael Myers talks.
But I thought he only talked in one cut.
Director's cut.
Yeah, one cut, yeah.
But I can't even find the theatrical one anywhere, so I don't.
Amazon, they have the both movies on one.
Yeah,
okay.
I have it on a DVD and I have the Canadian Blu-ray.
Yeah,
Canadian.
It's from, outsourced from Canada. So number 11 is going to be Halloween H2O. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right.
And I say this because I think the finale is one of the better finales, better ends of the film. Like it just doesn't feel Halloween to me. I think I'm not. Obviously, I'm not the only YouTuber who's ever said this.
Oh yeah.
It feels like Scream at times. The mask, the consistency of the masks changing throughout it. How much you get to see Myers' eyes, just like straight up, like I wasn't really into that. And while it does have Jamie Lee Curtis and she I liked this version of Laurie Strode the most of everything we've had in the franchise. It wasn't enough for the film to be redeemable.
I get it. This is kind of H2O is kind of a film where you either really, really love it or it's kind of towards the bottom. It's not really a middle ground kind of movie. I get it. I get it either way. And I respect you, my friend.
Thank you.
Well, my number 11 is also Halloween H2O. A movie that when I was a teenager, I really liked this movie. When I was growing up, it was like Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween H2O. Like that was my trilogy. I felt like it was a really good story and really nice end to the story. And then as I've gotten older, I'm just like, this is just trying to be Scream, and it's got a shitty mask and a subpar Michael and a lot of really paper thin characters aside from Jamie Lee. That's the one thing I'll give this movie. Jamie Lee is amazing in it. It's so 90s and it's so teeny boppy and it's so, and there's no fall atmosphere at all. So yeah, H2O.
Okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's fine. We're moving on. The more and more hate this movie's getting, I'm kind of like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should fucking drop it in my ranking. But I won't do it because then I'll be like a sellout, and then I'll just be like, I won't do that. Number 11, I got Rob Zombie's Halloween. Just a little bit better than than the second one for me. Primarily because after you get past the, white trash shit in the beginning, you do get that amped up version of John Carpenter's classic. Obviously more brutal, and Myers is freaking like a fucking house. But Tyler Mane did a great job. I definitely like his portrayal for sure. The kills were kind of the same thing, but amped up a little bit. It's just, I loved it as a kid. I saw it. I saw it opening day, got out of class and went straight to the theater, walked out, loved it. The more I've watched it, it goes down for me. If I'm going to watch I'll just watch 78. It's pretty much the same thing, minus the crappy shit in the beginning. The score is good, obviously. What was it? Tyler Bates. His score was good. But I just don't, it's not one that I go back to rewatch. Like if I'm doing a marathon of these things, I don't really watch Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 or 2. I know there's people that love both of them, and that's cool too. But for me personally, they just didn't. They weren't good for me personally. So, number 11, Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Nice, man. My number 10 is gonna have to be Halloween 5. I'm gonna kick down the redeemable things about it, and I think Don Shanks wasn't a bad Myers. I actually do love the mask a lot. I really do. We have Sheriff Meeker back. Dr. Loomis and Jamie Lloyd, but then we get the early death of Rachel, and then kind of Tina takes over, and I can never get into the Tina character so much. And it's not so much the goofy cops that bothers me. I mean, it's kind of out of place and weird. I just don't like to see Michael Myers. I mean, personally, I just don't want to see him cry. I don't want to see tears coming out this man's eyes. And, he got lit on fire in part 2, and all of a sudden his face looks pretty smooth. And, I don't know. That's just a little nitpicky bullshit. But, the moment where you see him in the jail cell, that he still has his mask on and he's just kind of there, like, defeated. I mean, you can watch Halloween Ends and say, yeah, he looked defeated by Corey Cunningham kicking his ass. But these are two different Myers. So without going too much further into that, I have to put it there. As a child, I loved it. I mean, I still have an appreciation for it. The Myers house was very weird. Anyways.
I get it.
Yeah, number 10 for me is Halloween 2018. And when I saw this one in theaters, I was really disappointed. And I think that's just because I was so like my expectations were through the roof for this movie. And, like rewatching this movie, I take nothing away from it. Like it's a really technically sound film. Like it's a really well-made movie pretty much all around. There's just something missing for me. I just feel like I had already seen it done before. I wasn't really compelled by any of the new characters. And at the end of the day, I don't know. It just didn't really do much for me. But again, it's a good movie. It's just not one of my personal favorites.
That's good. I get it. I get it. It's. I was gonna say most people. That's another one where most people usually have it closer to the top or closer to the bottom. I don't know what it is about, but it's just the way it is. But I respect it for sure. Number 10 for me, Halloween 5. I do not like Don Shank's performance as Myers in this at all. The Mask, as goofy as it is kind of growing on me the more I watch it. Definitely watched this one a lot as a kid, being on AMC Fear Fest or Monster Fest or whatever the name was back in the day. But that was always on for sure, 4 and 5. So, you kind of watched them as a pair. So I definitely really enjoyed it back then. And I always remember the box cover art from like the video stores for some reason. This one always stood out to me when I'd be looking at the horror section. Overall, I mean, the atmosphere is fine. It definitely screams fall. Like the party at the Tower Farm is great. The stupid cops with the music, that doesn't really bother me as much as it bothers a lot of other people. It doesn't really take away for anything from the film. The only thing that really bothers me is that they killed Rachel and then gave us Tina, unfortunately, who she's not as bad as most people make her out to be. She has her moments. I know she's just silly and quirky, but I mean, that's just how some people are. So I get it. But other than that, the kills are kind of weak in this one. And I really honestly just couldn't put it any higher than this, even if I really wanted to, because every other one above this, I just like a hell of a lot more. So Halloween 5, number 10.
Nice, man. Where am I at? Hold on. So number 9 is going to go to, and this might surprise a shit ton of people, maybe you guys, but Halloween 2. It gets a lot of love from the fan base, and the way the mask looked, the way it fit on Dick Warlock's head, because the mask was so thin back then. Those masks were very thin, so they took shape to everyone's face head. That's why it looks different on Nick Castle, and it looks different on everyone. Like I'm just so many people wore it. I don't know why my brain's not working. Tommy Lee Wallace, sorry. So it looked great on Dick Warlock, but overall, it being based in the hospital mainly a majority of the time. I'm not a fan of Dick Warlock's performance for a majority of the movie, and I just didn't feel Jamie Lee was a strong character, and I just feel like it's just way too weak of a follow-up to something as immortal and classic as the original.
I get that.
Well, number 9 for me is, interestingly enough, Halloween 2. And I get a lot of shit for this, man. I really do. I really do get a lot of shit for this. And it's like, I get how everybody says, it flows well with the first movie, and I mean, it does and it doesn't. It's very tonally different. It feels very of its time, for sure. But I don't know. Myers is really robotic in it. It's got a good first act and a good third act, but final act, depending on how many acts you want to break it up into, whatever. But the middle portion of this movie, the bulk of this movie, is a lot of meandering around empty hallways and hospitals. And it's just like, for a little bit, it's creepy, and then it becomes redundant. And then you're just like, wow, another empty hallway? Crazy. Wow, another hospital bed? Crazy. And they just relegated Jamie Lee to a hospital bed the whole time. So I do love this movie. I do. It's just nowhere near as high for me. It just doesn't reach the highest of highs that some of these other movies do. So yeah.
Okay. I have number 9 for me. I have Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. This one actually jumped probably like two slots, to be honest. Upon rewatch, I've really had a good time with it. I like the producer's cut a lot. Besides the ending, because stopping him with rocks is just hilarious. But It happens. I guess that kind of relates to Halloween 3, kind of. That's kind of what I take it from. But Myers is cool. I mean, he is a little thick in some of those scenes when he's walking down the hallway. He's kind of just like rumbling around down the hallway. That kind of takes it back for me a little bit. What's her name? Kira, I think, the final girl. I thought she was kind of just there. Obviously, Paul Rudd. He's goofy and quirky and fucking. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him, but I liked it. A lot of people don't like his performance. I really dug it. I mean, it might just be the fact that he's Paul Rudd, but I really did enjoy it. And the kills are brutal, especially John Strode's death is fantastic. The fucking head explosion. I know a lot of people bitch and say that's not Myers at all, but it was fucking cool. So who cares? The metal. I prefer the producer's cut soundtrack as well compared to the theatrical like metal versions of the songs we got. Not that they're bad. I just prefer the old stuff. But yeah, it's definitely grown on me a lot because at one point I hated it a lot, but it's not bad. It's grown on me for sure. Just like I said with the other ones, I just can't put it any higher because I like them a lot more. So Curse of Michael Myers, number 9.
All right. So my number 8 is going to be The Curse of Michael Myers. It was really hard to put it here, but considering the fact that the story you have to blame Halloween 5 a little bit, or you can thank Halloween 5, depends on how much you love this movie. I really wish that Halloween 5 could have given us a little. I mean, no, Halloween 5 did give us this Man in Black that was like, wow, this is really mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to follow up with this, dude? Because this is actually interesting shit, and that's what I do actually appreciate about Halloween 5. Is the mystery it's kind of like one of those things where we like with Halloween Ends. What's that? That's what's up. Like Halloween Ends is such a departure from the other parts of the trilogy, if you will. That's what Halloween 5 was doing in trying to be different, and like how many times can Michael Myers just chase people and kill people?
Yeah.
So the Curse came out and it was just really weird. They recasted Danielle. The kills were brutal. The atmosphere, it's probably some of the best in the franchise, but I just didn't think it had a strong ending. And Paul Rudd was a very weird Tommy Doyle. He I don't know, he overplayed what happened to him in '78 in terms of now he's an actor who's green as goose shit, and so I get it, but it didn't I don't know, it didn't connect. Mask is great though.
I'm not a huge fan of that one either.
Yeah.
Well, my number 8 is Halloween Kills. It's a movie that I actually really enjoy, but the points about it that people make are definitely valid. I can't argue that there isn't a lot of moments of overacting and some bad dialogue and stuff like that, but it's a really fun movie. And I guess it's really all I need. But the movies I have above this have more to them than just being really fun. Because Kills really doesn't have a plot, which is okay. That's totally fine, because if I just take it for what it is, it's just a fun slasher movie. It nails that. But that's all there really is to it. So that's 8 for me.
I'm actually surprised. I thought it would have been higher for you, to be honest.
No.
Damn. I'm going to switch one. I'm going to switch this on the fly. My number 8 is Halloween 2, 1981. I loved it early on. The more I watched it, was really, really boring. But upon rewatch again, just had a little bit more appreciation for it, for sure. It definitely flows, as best as it can from 78 to this one. I know, obviously, it looks different, and Warlock's performance isn't my favorite. I'm not a fan of the zombie robot Myers. But, I mean, he did just get shot off a roof, and, all that shit happened to him. So I guess I can understand it a little bit. But, the third act is fantastic with the hospital chase scene and the explosion and all that stuff. But the middle part of it, like most people do say, is just extremely slow. Nothing's going on. If you like looking at empty hospitals, you're going to be, very excited and ecstatic because that's what you're going to see. And it just doesn't it doesn't seem like a real hospital to me. I don't know what. Like, obviously, in Halloween Kills, there's 1 million people there. This one, the same shit happened, and there's nobody there. It's dead. I got like 3 workers, so it just didn't seem really believable. But it's growing on me. The synth scores, it's cool for what it is.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'd have to put it at number 8 for sure.
Cool. Number 7 for me will be Halloween Kills. And Halloween Kills, it's a movie I really enjoy. I enjoy the shit out of it. I think it's a fun time. It's like he was saying, it's not meant to be a story. It's not really made to progress the story much further outside of the fact that they just want to put Michael Myers on display as the monster of Haddonfield, you know. And I think the dude jumping off the roof was a little. I don't know what was the idea behind that. I mean, I kind of get what they're trying to do, you know. You know, Michael's turning people against themselves, and they'll chase anything, go after anyone, thinking, you know, mob mentality, you know. But it doesn't click all the way. As much as I loved it, I got out of the theater when I first saw it and was like, this is fucking great. Because it's one of those films that you can just shut your brain off and just watch endless murder and just enjoy it, you know. But because it does lack story, it kind of drops for me. James Q. Courtney is amazing, dude. Yep. Such a badass. But outside of that, I mean, like he said, with the dialogue, it's just there's really cringe, goofy dialogue in there, unnecessary dialogue. And I do think the Evil Dies Tonight thing, I think people do kind of exaggerate how much it really is said in the movie, but it is a little, it's cringe nonetheless. So yeah.
It is a little bit.
Oh shit, that's me. Like I said, guys, I'm really not trying to.
You're good, man.
If I divulge the type of shit that I'm dealing with right now, it's not fun. So my brain is like other places, but I wasn't going to cancel on you, Matt.
You're good,
number
man.
7 is Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. I prefer the theatrical cut. I saw the producer's cut in my teenage years. My mom one year for Christmas got me the bootleg DVD off eBay when that's all you could get for the producer's cut. And I did not love it. I mean, I really didn't. I remember watching it and it was like a holy grail that I was so excited to own. And I watched it and I was like, I see why they didn't put this one out. They make it very clear that Michael raped Jamie and impregnated her, and rocks stop him, and Loomis gets the thorn tattoo randomly, horribly, digitally on his wrist, and he's just like, I'm just like, no, it is. I really struggle when people try to say the producer's cut is more coherent than the theatrical, because I just could not disagree more. I mean, I think that if you want to say more of the original themes of the story are in the producer's cut, sure. But that story is a convoluted, nonsensical mess. And yeah, so I much prefer the theatrical cut because the third act of the theatrical cut is just, let's put Michael on full display. Let's let him kill a bunch of people and let's kind of leave some of this cult stuff on the back burner, which that's the best way to fucking handle it. If you want to lean too hard, if you lean too hard into that, you get people like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, no. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers.
All right. My number 7, I'm going to switch it up again. I'm going to go with Halloween Kills. Going in, you know, super excited, super jacked. Come out of the theater, was like, what the fuck was that? I was like, my wife was like, you didn't like it? I was like, no, I don't even know what I just watched. But as soon as I got home, I rewatched it again. Liked it a little bit more, and the more and more I watch Kills, the more and more fun I have with it. I just have to, you know, the hospital stuff is pretty shitty, but I think it goes a lot faster now that I know what's going to happen, so I'm not like paying full attention. I can do other shit while that part's going on. But the kills, I mean, are amazing. James Q. Courtney owns as Myers again. Soundtrack is a banger again. It's just a fun movie. You just shut your brain off and watch people get killed, and that just makes you sound like a terrible person. But it is fun because they're not real.
That's
They're
what
not
we're all
real.
here for.
It's real to
we
me,
live,
Tanner.
we live vicariously through these movies.
I know.
And that's okay. I mean, if anything, that means that we couldn't enact these heinous acts on people. So we watch them in movies because it's like, wow, it's fun in that way. That if anything, that tells me that someone wouldn't do something like that to someone in real life because they'd rather watch a fictitious version of it that they know is fake than, So, yeah, fuck anybody that says that. I've argued many a time about it's the movies and it's the video games and type narrative. I fucking hate that shit. But
I agree.
I digress on that point.
All right, number 7 for me, Halloween Kills.
Number 6 for me is going to be Halloween 3.
Oh,
yeah, about middle of the road there.
Uh-huh.
It's better than half the franchise in my opinion, and it does something different. It tries something new. It tries to take a Michael Myers out and creating a universe of its own. To try to see if maybe this anthology idea can stand on its own 2 legs, and we don't need a masked killer. And unfortunately, it took a very long time for people to like it.
Yeah,
it took me. I didn't actually initially start liking it until I was about 17. Maybe that was like 16 years ago or something. I for years I laughed at it and just kind of mocked it. And then I one day went to Circuit City when it was a thing, and I bought it on DVD and I rewatched it, and I was like, what have I been missing all these years? Like this is really cool. It's very interesting. The story. It's a movie that doesn't need Michael Myers, and it stands on its own as one of the better entries in the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But there are things that I'm not a big fan of, and due to some of those things, it could be a range of acting to some story elements that I didn't really like per se. And it kind of just puts it down there. But the fact that it's better than half the movies that have Michael in it, I mean, it says a lot about the movie.
Yeah,
it really does.
Mike, I see your comment. Thank you. Yeah, that's how I always put it. Is like I like to watch the fictitious, because I know it's fake. I don't want to actually watch real people die.
No.
Number 6 for me. Or wait, we're 6, right?
Yep.
Yeah, number 6 for me is. This is usually in everyone's top 5, if not top 3, but this is number 6 for me. Halloween 4.
Oh.
I love Halloween 4. I mean, at this point, these are all movies that I just adore. Like, it is like picking your favorite kid at this point. Halloween 4, but in the middle of this ranking, although I love them, there are minor nitpicks, and I have to be that Karen when I'm going into my top, like, best of the best. Like, okay, why is this not the best of the best? Well, because of this minor gripe and this minor gripe. With Halloween 4, the minor gripes I have are really 2 things. And I know Matt doesn't agree with this, but I say it every time. The mask. There's no damn excuse for the mask. This is a mass-produced Hollywood movie. There's no excuse for that mask. It looks, I always call it the thumb up the butt mask because he looks shocked.
It is.
Yeah. And then number 2, and maybe the biggest sin this movie commits. Really, you're going to give us a side boob of Kathleen Kinmont? You're like, really, like, that's what you're going to do. Like, all right, Dwight H. Little, you think you're being classy. No, you're being a dick. But no, I love Halloween 4 so much.
Oh man, you almost get them, and then all of a sudden the camera angle changes, and then they're gone. That's how. Yep, they shoot to her ass instead.
Yep.
Okay, number 6 for me, Halloween 3. I was not one of those people that ever hated this movie. I didn't like it, and then I watched it and then fell in love with it. I always really, really enjoyed Halloween 3. Just rewatched it again yesterday. It's different. It's just different, but it's a good different. It works. Conal Cochran is a sadistic son of a bitch for sure, trying to play a prank on the children. I mean, he's killing kids. You don't give a shit.
Arguably the most interesting villain in the Halloween franchise, and I'm including Michael Myers.
Yes.
Because Michael really isn't that interesting. He was never meant to be until the sequels tried to explain him more.
Yep.
that was never his point. But Connell Cochran is incredibly interesting. So yeah.
He's interesting. The three masks from Silver Shamrock are fantastic. I love all three of them. I love pretty much everything about this movie. Tom Atkins is in it, for crying out loud. He's amazing. You get the little cameo from Nancy Loomis as his wife, and she's an asshole. We get little cameo from Jamie Lee Curtis on the loudspeaker.
I've heard conflicting stories on that.
Yeah,
What?
Jamie says it wasn't her, but Tommy Lee Wallace says it was, and I'm more inclined to believe Tommy, because Tommy, when he went to Horror's Hallowed Grounds with Sean to look at the filming locations, he remembered everything. He remembered where they shot interiors for specific scenes and everything. Like, his memory was like, I mean, he's sharp as a tack. And Jamie, very famously in the 80s, tried to distance herself from horror and Halloween completely. So I could totally imagine, and it was a bit part. She probably recorded it, Lord knows if he was even in a fucking sound booth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so she probably wouldn't even remember it. But yeah.
Right.
But I always have a good time with Halloween 3. And for the people that don't watch it just because Michael isn't in it, get over it. It's a fucking movie. He's in 12 other movies.
Go watch my Halloween 3 review from like 12 years ago on my YouTube channel before I ever took YouTube seriously, and I would just post videos when I was a teenager. Oh my God, it's so cringy, my Halloween 3 review. But I went after those people that are like, it doesn't have Michael Myers in it. Yeah.
Doesn't have
like 14, 15. Yeah, it was cringy. But
badass teenager right there. Little Nick.
My number 5. I'm telling you right now, this wouldn't have been here until I rewatched this recently. Halloween 2018.
Oh,
dude,
dear God.
It wouldn't have been here. I watched this recently.
James got peanut butter on his penis, and he was like, I relate to this movie now.
I relate to this movie.
I get it.
It's a bagel. I just made a bagel.
So no, I was watching. Okay, so this sounds weird, but I was watching it with this girl, right? And you would think that I'd be more focused on trying to maybe interact with her, and I kind of was, but there were things about what I saw in this movie that I didn't catch the other dozen times I watched it. Weird as fuck, I know. And I was like, by the end of it, I was like, wow, this is really good. They're not really good. I mean, it's pretty fucking cool though. It's good. It has its moments. James Ducournau is a boss, bro. The mask looks phenomenal. Sandy, hello.
Hey, Mom.
The mask, the performance, but it does lose credibility in terms of peanut butter penises, and
it happens.
But look at the kills, man. Oscar's death, bro. The way Michael he creeps. It's just it's what David Gordon Green was bringing back to the essence of the first movie. But like, unfortunately, with not unfortunately, but kills and ends, he tried to get really artsy.
Yeah.
And change not saying that it's a bad thing, because look, I'm at number 5, and ends is not even, I haven't named it yet. So
none of us have.
Yeah, exactly. None of us have. So 2018, without going into any further explanation. It might have been better if Laurie wasn't so over the top.
Yeah, Sarah Connor. Although I still believe Sarah Connor could whoop that ass. So
oh yeah.
Agreed.
So number 5 for me is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. You guys both placed it at 6, so we're all right in the same ballpark. This movie, from the first time I watched it, I loved it. I think it's, like I said, I think Connell Cochran is a super interesting villain. I think that the whole death sequence for the Kupfer family is genuinely unsettling and really messed up. Tom Atkins, Stacey Nelkin. I mean, you can't go wrong. I used to have a thing where I would point out in a lot of these 80s movies when I was a teenager, when you would get Bush in 80s movies, and you get Stacey Nelkin Bush when she gets out of the shower, and you got to pay attention to it because the door's foggy that she's standing in front of. But I just always thought it was funny because the times were so different in the 80s, but whatever. But I really do like their chemistry and camaraderie in this movie. I love the setting of Santa Mira and Lolita, California. I think that it really is a small town in the middle of fucking nowhere in California. So it just has a really cool vibe to it. It's a universe that I would love to see explored more. And some people think that's blasphemous, but I do not think it's blasphemous at all. So, and hello, Jamie. I see you in the chat. And
Hi,
yeah, so Halloween 3 at number 5.
Okay, when you bring up the part about the bush, I thought I seen something yesterday when I rewatched it.
You'll also notice in Halloween 5 when Rachel's in the shower, 80s bush. I'm just saying.
I think you're right. It's really quick. You got to be watching like spot on.
No, you do, but when I was a teenage boy, I paid attention to the details. So
it was like seeing your son's arm come up into the fucking camera right now. I'm looking at you, and all of a sudden I see an arm pop in the frame.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait, me, because he's freaking. Yeah. What'd you do with the people that were in this box?
They're dead.
He took some freaking pop figures out of the box, and now I don't know where they are. So good for him. What'd you do with them?
What's your number 5, Matt?
My number 5 is Halloween H2O.
Oh, damn God.
I love it.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm about to get a mad load of shit for my next 3. So I
love Halloween H2O. I don't love it, but I like Chris Duran's performance. I got no problem with it. You get the nice fall. The opening is one of the best in the franchise, in my opinion. I really, really like that. You get great fall atmosphere in that beginning opening scene. You don't get it anywhere else, unfortunately.
We deserved it as an audience to see that ice skate go in the face, not just the
aftermath. I agree with that. That would have looked so cool. The kills are weak, obviously. Unfortunately, you got that Scream vibe, which I don't care because I like Scream a lot. So this did not
Sarah's
bother
kill
anyone.
Is cool. I love Sarah's kill.
Sarah's kill's badass. Then she got hung up in the closet. That was pretty tight. The mask thing, it drops it down a notch for me for sure. They're very annoying, and I never noticed as much as a kid. And then I think now, how didn't I notice it? Because it's freaking blatantly obvious that they changed from scene to scene. The face, the close shots of the one mask, and the far away are the other, and then the stupid CGI piece of shit. And it just, but I don't know. There's something about it. It was probably it was one of the first Halloween movies I ever saw, and I think that has something to do with it. So it will always be close to the top of my list for sure. Halloween H2O, number 5.
Still waiting on the Tot CGI mask. Still waiting on it.
You can only get it on a thumb drive.
No.
Here's the moment, gentlemen. Here is that moment. Here we are. We're in the top 4 now.
No ends.
Number 4 for me is Halloween Ends.
There it is.
There it is. I had to think about the 3 movies ahead of it and think about what I like and what I don't like about those other ones, and compare and contrast the pros and cons. And while Halloween Ends is a fantastic entry, it's the best of the trilogy in my opinion. Obviously, from the ranking I'm saying here, but there's something about Halloween Ends that is very unique. It's a movie that tells you that Michael Myers isn't the only evil that can carry a film. Anyone can be Michael Myers. Anyone can wear a mask. Anyone can cause chaos and cause infection. And it's put on display here when Corey puts the mask on and he's killing people. And every moment of it feels like it's Michael Myers. Michael Myers is just a name. But anyone can put the mask on and portray that evil. And I find that that's really great. And it was nearly in the top 3. Nearly. But that's where I'm at.
Number 4 is Halloween Ends. And I'm genuinely not sorry about it. I spent 2 weeks now just getting shit on about it. I'm not sorry about it at this point. I'm really not. Halloween Ends, I think, is undoubtedly the most ambitious of the trilogy. Even if you didn't like it, I definitely think it's the most ambitious of the trilogy. It's the only one that I think actually tries to be its own thing and tries to stand on its own. And for those reasons, a lot of people didn't like it because they're like, well, this is part of a greater franchise and an already established trilogy. And what are you doing? Like, I totally get that. I totally get those complaints, and if it didn't work for you, it didn't work for you. It worked like a charm for me, man. At this point, as somebody that has been obsessed with this franchise for 20 plus years now and dedicated a lot of my life to it, I wanted something different, and I got something different, and I got one of the most interesting characters this franchise has ever introduced. with Corey, and I felt like his arc was earned, and I felt like it was believable, and I felt like this was Allison's best performance in this trilogy and Jamie's best performance in this trilogy. And again, this is a movie about Haddonfield and about evil and I think a big reason why a lot of people were upset about it was because Halloween Kills kind of reversed course with Halloween 2018, saying, no, he's just a man. Halloween Kills was like, but maybe he's not. And then Halloween Ends was like, no, he is. So again, that's part of the issue with Kills is some of the dialogue and the choices they make in that movie that don't pay off because they were never supposed to. It's simply a filler movie. But yeah, no, Halloween Ends is about Haddonfield and about how this town is so infected by evil, there always has to be a boogeyman, and they had to create a new one. And I'm sorry, if you can't sympathize with a guy like Corey that had a tragedy happen to him that was completely out of his control, and since then has only wanted to be a normal person and has only wanted to just try to live a normal life, and literally nobody will let him, like at any turn, nobody will let him. And eventually you tell someone there's something long enough and they start to believe it. So I fucking love this movie. I fucking love this movie. And it's like another controversial opinion. I know I'm getting long-winded, but goddamn, I love it. I didn't need the final fight. Didn't need it. I would have been totally cool with this movie ending with Corey dying and Michael grabbing the mask and disappearing. I would have been totally cool with that being the ending. You want to know why? Because this movie was never about Michael. This movie was about Haddonfield and about Halloween as a whole. And it was not a Myers movie. It was in the sense that Corey was essentially this new, younger vessel for Michael Myers. But that all played into Haddonfield as a town and the idea of a boogeyman and the manifestation of evil and all that shit. And I fucking ate that shit up. So yeah, Halloween Ends. I could very, very easily see this going up to number 3 after a few months or years or whatever. Very easily see it go. It won't ever crack the top 2. I can confidently say that, but it could go to 3. I fucking love this movie.
All right. 2 of us put it on the list. Am I going to put it at number 4? No, I'm not. It's higher than that. I have Halloween 4 at number 4. I love it. I do. The Mask, I know people hate it. Nick obviously said that earlier. I actually really like it. I don't know why I like it, but I do.
Which one?
What? Oh, well, I like the bandage one.
Finger in the butt.
I like it. I don't know why. I like it, okay? The kills are cool. Michael's cool besides the shoulder pads. That's the only part that really bothers me compared. Or the pink-haired mask. That one's pretty good too.
I was gonna say there's like 4 different kind of things used. There's the pink-haired, or that one. There's the mask you see throughout the film. There's the bandage, but then there's also the Meeker mask. That when he kills Kelly Meeker, it's a different mask.
Oh, I did. Thanks. I was wondering why it looked a little different, but that makes sense. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But I don't care about the mask. I think Myers is brutal. Dr. Loomis is probably maybe his best performance, maybe second best.
I'm sorry, there's actually a 5th mask. It's a drugstore. The eyes are actually small, but when he wears them, the eyes are bigger, I believe. Sorry. Go ahead. I feel bad.
Now you ruined it. Now I'm going to drop that down to 6 now. No. Halloween 4. Rachel's awesome. Jamie's great. Danielle Harris is fantastic. She steals the show. Rachel's arc is fantastic. It's just one that I always go back to. Watched it a lot as a kid. Still watch it today. Watch this one probably. Honestly, I probably watch this one more than any other one. But yeah, Halloween 4. It gets great atmosphere. The soundtrack by Alan Howarth is fantastic. So yeah.
All right. So James, before we get into your 3, I got to address this comment in the chat.
Sure.
Saying Halloween Ends is for people who only watch box office horror, so they think it's deep when there are so many superior films exploring that sort of topic. By the way, this nothing personal, like at all, but I could not disagree more with that statement. A lot of some of my closest friends that I would call have knowledge of horror movies that I could never imagine. I could never compare with, like my buddy Piz Owl. Piz has reviewed damn near every horror movie, and half of them most people have never even heard of. Like he's seen everything, and he enjoyed the movie. I really think it's just more. It's not about that at all. You can watch art house films, you can watch your elevated horror type stuff, and get a lot of those topics and a lot of those ideas and themes in those movies. And I've seen a lot of those movies. Putting anybody into a box because they like something is just never something that I can jive with. I think the people that liked Halloween Ends, it was for a myriad of reasons. They liked the character of Corey. They liked a new take. They liked the fact that I don't know, I didn't have to see a 65-year-old dude just limping around the whole movie trying to kill people. Like, I love Michael Myers, but if you're going to tell me that he's an old man now and he's wounded and he's near the end and he is a human being, well, then portray that on screen. They did that. But guess what? The best part about Halloween, guys, it's a choose your own adventure franchise. It's a choose your own adventure franchise. You can choose any adventure you like. But let's not get into the business of putting people into boxes because they like something, because I don't know about that.
What is up with the feels like a box office movie? I don't understand.
And I also I couldn't agree with that less. I mean, I can disagree with it more, I guess I should say. Halloween Kills was a box office movie in the sense of it was like this action horror movie. Come out, see this brutal spectacle. Oh, it's a popcorn movie. Yay.
Yes.
And like, that was the idea for Halloween Kills. Halloween Ends, if anything, is more like a fucking, especially the first half, is more like an indie horror movie, like romance. Like, I would not call that a box office darling. But
there's nothing box office about Halloween Ends. I'm sorry. The closest thing to the box office moments would be the finale.
That's it.
That's
which is why they marketed the finale. Yeah, they marketed the finale, but that was it, because they knew if we market this movie in its entirety, a lot of people aren't going to go see it.
No.
They're here for Michael and Laurie. I wasn't. I mean, I knew we'd get that fight anyway, regardless. I just, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's different strokes for different folks. It's all good.
That's it. Yeah. Nothing against anybody that doesn't like it. That's fine. It is what it is. James, number 3.
Number 3 is going to be Halloween 78.
Oh, damn.
No, I'm joking.
How's it?
Rob Zombie's Halloween 1.
Ugh.
Now, you may think, like, how the fuck does this make it this high up? This movie has such a special place in my heart, man. In 2007, it was a crazy year for me. It was a year full of ups and downs. What sticks out about this movie so much is that in 2000, exactly, I agree with that sentiment.
It's still going to make $100 million, and Blumhouse is going to make $500 million on 3 movies. They're a lot of people will spin Halloween Ends performance as like bad, but if you would have told Jason Blum 5 years ago you're going to make $100 million plus with each one of these 3 movies, he would have done that in a heartbeat. So it's going to be the 3rd highest performing Halloween movie. It's crazy, it's like it already is. So yeah, I just
but 2007 was a really weird year, dude. Like, I was with this girl for a long time. We ended up breaking up, and it was like tore me down and made me feel like shit. So I constantly throughout the year just like put myself in this weird place. And the only happiness I could find that year was Rob Zombie's Halloween. It was the only thing that took me out of my depression. But on top of that, because that is so special in those terms, Rob Zombie created this story. Well, retold a story, but he brought it back with amazing actors who can act. We have a beginning of the film, like the first act of the film is unnecessary, but it's what makes it different. And that's what I find that a lot of fans don't like, is something that's different. Which Halloween 3, Halloween Ends, like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Like, people don't like difference. Different things. They want Michael to just be the same thing every movie. Stalk, kill, disappear, die, disappear, whatever. And this movie it's a retelling of the original, but it has new elements. And overall, there's something special about this movie to me. Obviously I produced the mask that you see in the movie, very similar to the mask, not the one, but it has a special place in my heart, man. And like, I won't let anyone tell me that this movie's not good because I don't give a fuck.
I get it. That's the thing. That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. Like, different movies hit people different ways. They've seen it at different times in their lives, or it has a certain meaning to them. And I don't know, people just look at it, from the outside and don't,
because these movies move us in certain ways that other movies don't because of experiences that we've had through life. Like, it's more than the movie itself in certain situations.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Well, number 3 for me is going to be one that I have continued to get shit about my entire life, so I don't really care. Halloween 5. And objectively, is it the third best? No. I would never make that argument. But it's my third favorite. And it's my third favorite because it was the first Halloween movie I ever saw when I was a kid. It got me into not just Halloween, but really horror.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so much I love about it. I mean, I love the foreign influence that the director, Dominique Autun and Gerard, brought in there. I think there's some really stylistically good shit in this movie. I love the whole final act. The third act is just awesome. The chase through the woods, the laundry chute, the attic, like all of it it's really just like nonstop go. I think that Danielle Harris carrying a movie when she was 11 years old while filming this movie, carrying it the way she did, where half of the movie she's not allowed to speak and she just has to act through body language. I thought was awesome. Loomis is over it at this point. He's fucking drunk and pissed off. And I really dig this movie. But again, never going to say it's the third best. Never. Our lists are subjective. Our lists are just based off of our enjoyment and what the movies mean to us. And it's hard for me to disrespect Halloween 5 when it's what got me into the series in the first place. So Halloween 5 at number 3.
Respect, for sure. Halloween, yeah. For 3, for me, is it going to be Halloween Ends yet? No.
No, it's 2018, I bet.
It's 2018. I did move it back. I had Halloween 2018 up to 1 at one point, and I couldn't do that, so I moved it back. But number 3, obviously Jamie Lee came back. We get John Carpenter. We get, a badass Myers with a great mask that we haven't had in a very long time. The soundtrack was badass. Kills were great. I love it. The humor, everybody hates it. I don't really care. I like it. I think it's funny. Yes, I got peanut butter on my penis. It's not a big deal, Nick. I was making a bagel. It's really not a big deal. It happens, and I get it. It is gross because his daughter was right there. I mean, I got boys, so I could do that, and they'd be like, that's funny. So it would work. But everything about 2018, I just love very, very much. Everything. From the beginning to the end, there's really nothing about it that I don't like. The final fight between him and Laurie is good. We could have just ended it right there. We didn't even need 2 more movies. We trapped him in the basement, set him on fire. It is what it is. That's the end. But whenever you make $250 million, you're going to make some more fucking movies. So we got what we got. But I love 2018. I always will, I think. I don't know if it'll go any higher than 3 at this point, unless something else drops. But 2018, number 3 for me.
Nice, dude. Nice. The next one is where it's at for it's what introduced me to the franchise, man, and it's Halloween 4. I remember at the time living in Minnesota, and that like my mom and dad would take me to the video store, and back then it's only VHS, and every time they would take me, I would just run towards the horror section. You have a wall of VHS tapes, and they're all like this crazy different box art covers and everything else. And Halloween 4 and 5, 4 with the mask on, the big old mask in the house there, and then 5 with not Jamie Lloyd, I was gonna say, but Danielle and the mask and everything. I would run there, and I swear, like, I would rent that thing on a weekly, or I wouldn't. My parents would rent it for me on a weekly basis. And Halloween 4, it stuck to me, even though the mask does look like shit. I'm going to be very honest. The fact that you can't rip the sideburns off and paint it white the first time, come on. But I'll let it slide. No, that's my introduction to Halloween, to Michael Myers. 27 years ago today, or not today, but you know what I mean, this year.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
It made me be this weird guy who makes masks and fucking who collects masks and all this weird shit. And who has this obsession over this franchise. I have to thank this movie for introducing me to be the Halloween fan that I am today.
All right, fanboy.
Yeah. Number 2 for me is it's a controversial one, buddy. Buckle up. Y'all haven't heard it yet, so you know what it is. It's Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And this movie, buddy, let me tell you, from the first night I saw it opening night in theaters, I absolutely loved this movie, and it's only grown every time I watch it over again. The fact that Rob Zombie had the balls to take this iconic franchise, and rather than have your stereotypical Hollywood, all these people struggled and they went through this thing and we're going to watch them get better. And like, there's going to be this happy ending. Rob Zombie took it and was like, no, sometimes when people have PTSD and they suffer trauma like that, they get worse. And what happens when they get worse, and what happens when everything around them gets worse. I mean, the town of Haddonfield in this movie, the people of Haddonfield, it's so cold. It's so unwelcoming. Everyone is so damaged. Everyone is so fucked up, and nobody has any help from anybody else. It's like everybody's alone. Like Lori has Annie, but she doesn't really have Annie because Annie's dealing with her own shit. And also Lori isn't open to the idea of receiving any help. She's seeing a therapist, but she doesn't give a shit. It's in one ear and out the other with the therapist. It's like, it's such a dark, realistic, gritty, grounded approach of like, sometimes not everything has a happy ending. Sometimes, unfortunately, we do succumb to the darkness inside ourselves. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we can't pull ourselves out of shit. And it's a sad reality, but it is a reality. And this movie addresses that sad truth head on. And just from the way it's filmed, like shot on 16 millimeter film. So it looks dirtier. It looks there's just and then every color in this movie is desaturated. Like everything is gray and blue and white. And it's just, he gets his point across visually before you even have to get into the story. It's just fucking awesome. So it's number 2.
Question, Nick. I have a question for you. Now, you love this movie. A lot of fans do not. Do you find that this movie would be much more received if they had removed the white horse, if they had removed, say, those sequences of Laurie's dreams where she sees the mom and she's like in this gothic-y kind of like location, wherever it may be? Do you find that removing elements like that, or even like the guys in the coroner's vehicle talking about, jam and jelly and fucking dead bodies and things like that, do you think this movie would have been liked more had we removed some of those elements?
I mean, the white horse and stuff for sure. I think that all of that is a big reason why a lot of fans don't like it. Also, they don't want Myers to have a beard and have a half mask and stuff. So you change those things, and most of them are probably like, this movie's okay. But I wouldn't change those things because Rob said that he wanted Michael to seem unchanged by the world around him. What was the realistic approach for Michael Myers? He's been wandering. When's he going to have time to shave? When's he going to have time to, get a new jumpsuit and a new mask? And, it's just like, it's realistic. It is, different, but it's realistic. And then on top of that, with the white horse in the visions with Lori and stuff, I think Rob could have trusted his audience a little bit more and understanding that maybe you don't have to give all that imagery. Because the reason he put stuff in there is to be like, look, guys, I'm giving you a visual representation of how fucked up Laurie Strode is. I didn't need that visual representation to see her slow descent into madness, but I personally don't feel like it hurts the movie because if anything, it does drive home that fact to people that might not be getting it elsewhere. Wow, this chick is really losing her shit, man. Like, what the hell is this stuff that she's having visions of? Normal people don't have these types of nightmares. So I think it serves the story. And so, yeah, I wouldn't change them personally, but I totally understand that a lot of fans would like this movie better if they did. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I told Matt this in the past. I view the film as it's not really happening. It's all in Laurie's head. After she shot Michael in the head in the first movie, she went crazy, and these are her hallucinations, or this is how she perceives what's going on while she's locked up in a mental institution.
Zombie has touched on that before. People have asked him about that, and he said that was not his intention. He does, in his mind, this movie did happen. This is real, but in his mind also, you could make an argument that this is all happening, but Laurie's killing everyone. And he's not even saying that was his intention, because he intended on Myers to be there, but he has heard that theory and he's given credit to that theory and said, yeah, you can watch this movie and literally as you're watching it go, she's killing everyone. Michael Myers isn't actually there. Again, not the intent, but again, that's the beauty of a film that is more than one layer, one layer thick, is that when you peel back that onion, there's so many possibilities there. So say what you will about the movie and about Rob Zombie as a filmmaker, but I feel like this movie was a movie that Rob got to be himself and got to say, I want to spice things up because this franchise is getting long in the tooth, and he wasn't wrong. So
cool.
There you go. I got to put this comment up because it's only popped up 3 times now. Halloween Ends sucked. Well,
great opinion, bro.
We respect it, but if that's how you feel, you're gonna hate my next pick. No, number 2 for me, Halloween Ends. Yes, I said it. Number 2 in the franchise, a Michael-less Myers movie, so they say. But I think there's more to this movie than Michael Myers killing people. Like you guys said before, he infected this whole town. His aura surrounds everyone. So even though he's not there, he still is. Because the Michael Myers is just the name attached to the shape, which is why they say evil changes shape. I know it's corny and people don't like it, but it is what it is. Corey Cunningham is... I don't know if I want to say this. He might be my favorite character in the entire franchise. Yeah, I said it. Dr. Loomis might be first, but he's right there with him. Corey just sucked you in. I mean, even Dave McCrae, who is a purist, loved Corey Cunningham in his story. He said it didn't belong in a Halloween movie, but he loved the character and how it was going. So that should say something right there of how, enticing Corey Cunningham's character was. For the moment you see him on screen is that nerdy ass kid babysitting, which he never did, and obviously you can tell because he's pretty bad. But just from then on, and then you just feel so bad for him. The town hates him. It was an accident, but nobody sees it that way, and you can see why he goes down the path that he goes down. The fucking evil that is inside of him. And yes, Michael choked him, but then he saw visions, and no, it's just Michael was weak, and people need to understand that if he is human, he would be weak. He got shot a bajillion times and stabbed and hit with an iron from the Iron Lady in a 2x4 and a baseball bat and everything else. So it makes sense. It makes sense. He's old. I mean, he's fucking been sitting down there eating rats and probably humans dragging him into the sewer. We get it. I know they don't like to see him walking up to kill Doug like this. I don't care. He had an orgasm killing somebody. Once again, I don't care. I liked everything about it. It was badass. The soundtrack was great again. I love that it's different, just like Halloween 3. I made a video about that yesterday. It got no views because nobody fucking cares about me, and that's okay. But they are so similar to me, and it just worked. It was, I know I should be like, oh, you should like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 then. Yeah, maybe, but I don't. But that's okay because it's a different fucking cup of tea. And
we're gonna do a watch along for that next month because I really, really, really am going to try my hardest to let the brilliance of this movie shine through. I'm gonna do my damnedest with it.
And that's what we want, because most people that we associate with and talk to on here, they all hate it. So we don't really, okay, there's some people that like it, but I need somebody like you that has the crazy passion for this movie to put it at number 2 in the franchise. That's what I need to sit down, me and James, and you can maybe explain to us what we are missing because we don't get
Well,
it.
again, guys, film is subjective. So like, we've talked a lot about this over the past 2 weeks when it pertains to Halloween Ends. You know, I can't say that you're right or you're wrong if you do or you don't like something. That's not my purpose. My purpose is to just say, taking a film on its merits, you can recognize that a film is a good film, but it still might not work for you. And at the end of the day, if I can get somebody to watch Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and go, nah, I mean, it is a good movie. It's well made. And, his themes and his messages he's trying to get across, he's successful in it, but it's just not my cup of tea. I can respect that. What I can't respect is the hyperbolic shit we've seen, especially recently. Yeah. Halloween Ends is fucking trash, dog shit. It's not, though. Like, it has a lot of merit to it. Maybe it just didn't work for you. Maybe it wasn't where you wanted it to go. But like the hyperbole has gotten to it's like at a fever pitch right now. And it's just like, some of y'all just chill, bro.
I get it. Hey, David, I did notice that. But then and did anyone notice, did Corey's hand heal right after he killed Dr. Mathis? I did talk about that a little bit. Then they zoomed in on it the next scene, and it was still all stitched up and shit. It wasn't like bleeding or anything, but it was still not healed.
It's because his hand is healing when he's next to Michael. Like that's a theme that they put that in the movie, but they didn't explain it, and rightfully so, because like, how do you explain it? It's really for the viewer to read into, and how I read into it as a viewer is that since he is another manifestation of that same evil that's in Michael, it's almost like he's an extension of Michael. And when he's near him, that evil is stronger.
Strongest.
So that's kind of how I took that.
Okay. There you go. Michael was not seen for most of the movie, but I already said, you're right. He wasn't seen, but he was there.
This is what people don't understand is that Michael Myers not being that heavy of a part of the movie. It's that Michael is a heavy part of this movie, but not in the flesh. It's what he's done to the town. Like Nick was saying a bit ago, it's a Haddonfield film. It's to show you what Michael's ghost, his essence, his whatever, has done to the town, where people are offing themselves, man. Yep. Billboards of missing people, and everyone is trying to find the new book. Like, the boogeyman disappears, we need to find a new one. And it's about how Haddonfield's kind of imploding on itself due to the character of Michael Myers and what he's inflicted on the town for 44 years. So while Michael's not heavily there in presence, in spirit, he is everywhere.
I have argued that I think that this movie is more Michael focused than most of the Halloween movies, because the whole movie is about his specter and his lasting influence. It's the original idea that John Carpenter had for Halloween 4 back in the day. It was going to focus on the town of Haddonfield, and it was going to focus on the specter of Michael Myers and the evil itself that was in Michael Myers, but it wasn't going to be about Michael Myers. The difference with Halloween Ends is Michael Myers is still there. So like, he is physically in this movie, but even in the parts where he's not physically on screen, everything you're seeing is a direct result of his masterpiece, as Laurie put it in Halloween Kills. I mean, it's the first time we've seen this franchise not just fucking forget about all of the heinous murders from a previous Halloween. Halloween 6 was like the only one that really tried to touch on that a lot. But even then, they're still having parties and shit in Halloween 6. So it's like, this movie, it's like it showed how big of a presence this guy actually was. He didn't have to physically be walking the streets of Haddonfield killing people for Haddonfield to be so fucked up from what he had done. And his presence is felt throughout this entire movie. The entire movie. Also, as a viewer, the first time you watch this movie, what are you thinking a lot of the time? When's he going to show up? when's he gonna? Oh man, I bet he's gonna show up. Oh, I bet he's about to show up. And why do you feel that way? Because you're feeling his fucking presence throughout the entire fucking movie. It's all throughout the movie, and it's just dude. I mean, I can get fired up about it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, he is omnipresent in this movie, and I dig the shit out of it. But I mean, we don't have to give our number ones, right? All three of us have 78. I mean, what more can you say?
Halloween, 70. Yeah.
The granddaddy, the blueprint, the reason any of the other ones exist. So yeah, I mean, we all put that at number one.
Nobody cared about hearing our number ones because it's pretty much obvious.
It's like one of those things where it's like, what can we say that's not been said before? You know,
it's good.
It's good, man. It's the man.
It's good.
Let's talk about Halloween Ends.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I mean, it's just a damn good movie. It's just a damn good movie. Halloween Ends is, and that is a common misconception. I'm glad you brought that up, Matt, because like a lot of people, myself included, when I first saw Ends and he did that little shimmy in the cave, I was like, oh, is he like charging up? Is he powering up? And then Wham had Paul Brad Logan on, one of the writers last week on their channel, and he was like, no, he's aroused. He's literally getting aroused. And like, to some people that might be like, what? No, that's a thing with serial killers. Like it gives them, like Michael, clearly this is an addiction for him. It's animalistic. He doesn't think about it. He just has to kill. And like the fact that he was, getting the old knife out and, going stabby again. He was like, oh, damn. Oh, I'm awake. Like, it's like you take a shot of espresso or some shit, you're like, oh, goddamn. Like, that's what it was to Michael. He probably had a half chub, and like, good for him.
Half chub. Yep. Corey brought it out of him.
I hear a lot of people argue that and are getting mad about the scene where he's kind of doing this. And honestly, when I watched it the first time, I was really uncomfortable and creeped out, but in a good way, because I was like, wow, this is something we've never seen Michael do before. This is new. And when he was doing it, it was like you could feel like he felt something he hasn't felt in a while. There was something about him that made him feel like he was living.
Oh, I got chills. I got chills in the theater, bro. I got chills in the theater at that moment. I was like, I literally was sitting there and I like turned to my brother and I was like, oh my God, bro. Like that moment was just awesome because it was like, that's my dude. Like he's awakened from his slumber and he gets that old knife out and he's just like, oh, damn. And I was like, yes, like, oh, fuck yeah. And I honestly like that he only has three. I like that he only has 3 kills in this movie because they all mean something. He gets that kill. He gets the kill. Thanks a lot, Cat, you fucking asshole. Because anyway, he gets that kill. He gets the Nurse Deb kill, which is a direct callback to his classic kill in the original movie. And it's so fucking powerful in this movie. And you get the head tilt. And then he gets the final kill of Corey. Corey was going to bleed out anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Corey didn't kill himself. He tried to kill himself. Michael didn't let him kill himself. He said, yeah, you'll probably bleed out, but let me break your neck first so I can get one more under my belt. And just to be like, fuck you for taking my mask. So, oh, God, every kill that he makes in this movie is impactful. And it's every time he's on screen, it's awesome. But even when he's not on screen, he's there and it's awesome. And I fucking love the movie.
Good. It's fucking 3 people here that love that movie. So if you don't love it, then get the fuck out. I'm just kidding. Don't. I'm just kidding. I respect your opinion.
Fuck out.
I respect your opinion.
Let's get toxic like everyone else.
No, I'm not gonna. I have been super cool, but I don't get any fucking trolls. So I don't really. It doesn't really affect me that much because I don't know. I'm too nice, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I saw Nick post I think it was on Instagram or something about maybe it wasn't, but like a video about how he's been targeted and hated on.
I was on YouTube. Yeah,
YouTube.
It was a short. Yeah, it was a short.
Yeah, there you go. It was a short, and I watched it and I was thinking in my mind like, dude, this is a real thing. Like, people are really doing this. It's a fucking movie, dude.
See, the thing about shorts is you can still see dislikes. So I have 250 likes on that, but 30 something dislikes. And so already people are and the video isn't me being a dick or saying you guys should like this movie. You guys should stop. No, it was literally just guys, you can like or not like this movie, but literally telling me to kill myself because I like this movie. Like that's a bridge too far. Like we should not be doing that type of shit with any fucking movie. And even then, posting that 15-second short, just saying, hey guys, maybe don't take it to that level. Some people were still commenting on it like, fuck you, dude. It was terrible. Shut the fuck up. I'm like, I said you're allowed to think it was terrible, but like, you're proving my point, man. Scream 5 was ahead of its time. It called it before it happened. It called it.
Toxic fandom.
Yeah. And then people get offended at that term too. And they're like, what even is toxic fandom? Like, toxic fandom is a real thing. When you take it to the point of like, you know, like I said, someone literally commented and told me to go play Russian roulette with myself. Someone commented and said, I thought your people only came out in June. Referencing Pride Month, basically, you know, calling me a gay guy for liking the movie, which is really weird. But whatever.
What the fuck?
A lot of gay friends. Shout out to all my gay friends out there, all you gay people. And also had somebody literally just I chat my story on Instagram, and it said KYS F word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, I can't win with you people. Like, what? You know what? You probably can't see it well, but like literally those first 2 shelves on both bookshelves are all Halloween movies. Blu-ray, 4K, DVD, VHS, thousands of dollars of Halloween stuff on there. I don't have to prove my fandom to anybody. I am a diehard Halloween fan and I like the movie. Doesn't make me any less of a fan. Maybe y'all should just go outside and fucking touch some grass and like see a pair of boobs in real life. Like, goddamn, like calm the fuck down. It's a movie. Fuck.
Whoa. Yeah, see a pair of boobs coming from the person that was bitching. He didn't get to see boobs in Halloween 4, but whatever.
I think all of us are mad that we didn't get to see those in Halloween 4.
The fun bags. We did not,
especially because they teased it. But again, guys, I don't need to.
It's all subjective, you know. Maybe something.
I don't mean to get on my soapbox. Like I said, if you don't like the movie, don't like it, and continue to say you don't like it, and stick to your fucking guns. But you cross a line when you become a fucking dick, and there's literally no excuse for it. Like, I don't know, Matt, James, if you guys are on YouTube and you get a recommended video and you see the like title or the thumbnail or whatever, and it's like something that doesn't interest you or something you don't agree with, you just don't click on it, right? Because that's what I do.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw somebody post a video the other day, and it was like, Halloween Ends flops at the box office. And I was like, it was recommended for me. I wasn't subscribed to them. And I was like, I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to watch it. Like, so it's just that simple. Like, I loved Halloween Ends video.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't fucking like it. I'm not watching that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a really novel concept, I guess. Really
and that's fine, Jer. And I'm cool. I'm not trolling. I just disagree with y'all. And that is totally fine.
It's okay, man. I've done a live video once where someone wished death upon me and said I was going to die of heart disease because I'm fucking obese and everything else. So it's okay. I feel you. I feel your pain, man.
But there you go. Boobs could change the world. Happy flop. Yes.
It literally just makes me like, I don't know about you guys. This is my favorite franchise. It's probably both of yours too, right?
It is.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but at any point over these last 2 weeks, had it made you at all sometimes go, I wish I didn't like this franchise, man. Like, I had moments like that. I genuinely had moments where I was like, I don't want to be associated with some of this fan base because some of y'all are fucking crazy. Like,
they are.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
and YouTubers and people putting us all in a box. Halloween fans are fucking toxic. Whoa. Not all of us, bro. Not all of us. I don't know.
I keep. There's a lot of box talk in the comments, my friend. A lot of box talk.
I turned the chat off. I turned the chat off on my phone. I just didn't care. I knew when we started talking about Halloween Ends.
Yeah,
I knew when we started talking about Halloween Ends, I was going to fire people up. So whatever.
I know, but Halloween Ends is a good movie, and if you don't like it, I respect it as well.
Matt Bocci, you made it your number 2.
What? No, I didn't. I don't like that. I'm in a box.
I'm proud of you, dude. For
what kind of box am I in? A cool box. An awesome box.
This show tonight was brought to you by a panel of #fake fans. Get your t-shirts. Fake fans.
There you go, Michael. I'm not toxic. I'm just evil. Well,
There
thank
you
you, Michael Myers, because you brought us all together. You're the best. But that was fun. I had a freaking blasty blast. I love talking Halloween Ends so much, especially with people that love it, like you guys, because there's a lot of haters. But that's okay. Like what you like, don't like what you don't like. You like Jason more than Michael, and I respect it. It is what it is.
I'm a Myers guy directing a Friday film, bro.
I was talking to him.
Oh, sorry, my bad. But you're gonna see Halloween inspiration in there. I tell you that.
I did.
Oh, you did? Yeah, I bet you did.
I already seen it. I loved it. It was good. But yeah, I want to thank Nick for coming on tonight, even though he wasn't. Said he wasn't in the best of shape, but he seemed perfectly fine to me once we got rolling and talking about Halloween Ends. So hopefully it made him feel a little bit better and having a better time now. James, as always, you're the man. Everybody, my special boy, you be quiet, comes out on Friday on James' channel. Go check it out. Support him. I already saw it. It was amazing. I gave it a 4 out of 5, and I'm not just saying that because he's my dude. It was actually pretty damn good. So go watch it.
It's been making the rounds, and dude, so far everyone that's seen it has been like, dude, Friday the 13th has returned to form.
That's all. Then you're doing something right. So,
with that being said, though, Matt, I appreciate you being honest with your review, which you told me. You know, it's not for everyone. It's not going to be for everyone, and that's totally fine. But you know, it's cool. It's cool, man.
Yeah, we'll put you in a box, man. Fan filmmaker box, and that's the box you're going in.
It's almost like, yeah.
And Nick's in the I Like Weird Movies box, and that's just the way it goes. And
is the box the term of like a casket?
It could be a Christmas gift or whatever you want it to be. Just go with
casket.
Or a box could be a vagina. So I like being in the box. So
yeah,
you heard it first.
Brian Bull, does the evil transfer to Allison and Corey's baby?
They did have sex, and I was thinking maybe they could say she's pregnant later, but I don't think this is going anywhere. So
I don't think it's gonna go anywhere.
No.
Great question though.
Good question. I see you in there, Logan. You should be in bed. It's almost fucking 10. My kids, they don't go to bed. I'm a bad father. Oh, whatever. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Yeah,
James,
no
have a good night, everybody. Thanks. Let us know down below what your. Don't give us your favorite because, of course, it's going to be Halloween 78. Let us know what your second or third is because that's where the fun is.
No, dude, tell us what you think about Halloween Ends, bro.
Okay, fuck that. Yeah, tell us what you think about Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Want to hear it.
Yeah.
Read it, I mean.
Yeah. What are we going to – we'll see you guys in the next fucking video. Have a good night, everybody.